I want to thank all of you for coming together today and protesting the Yulin Festival and the dog and cat meat trade. We're here to help make people aware of the torturous conditions these animals are put through. It's shocking many people are still not aware of its existence, but unfortunately it's not a stereotype. The Yulin Festival was created in 2009 to boost the dying industry. It takes place in Yulin, China, every year during the summer solstice from June 21st until June 30th. During that time, 10,000 to 15,000 dogs, many just puppies, are tortured, butchered, and consumed during the festival. These numbers don't even account for the lives of the cats and other animals that are also murdered. And it's estimated that each year in China alone, 10 million dogs and 4 million cats will be slaughtered for the meat trade. Some of the victims are raised in meat farms, others are vulnerable strays and household dogs, cats, and other pets. These animals are abducted from their homes, their porches, their backyards, and some are even taken while on walks with their families. Each year that the festival and the dog and cat meat trade continues, we must stand together and use our voice and speak up for these animals. These animals do not have the luxury of tomorrow. With each passing year, it is so easy to get discouraged, but we have to stay strong. We must remain united to help stop the suffering and torture of these defenseless animals. And I know it's hard to believe that one person is able to make a difference or change the course of history, but you can. One signature, one voice does inspire and motivate, and that one voice merges with another and another and another until the anthem can be heard across oceans. We are standing today with the activists and Chinese people that are trying to stop these barbaric rituals and to help those whose pets and family members have been hurt by the festival and the dog and cat meat trade. We need to show the Chinese government that we are not going away. We will not remain silent, and we will not stop protesting. Please stand with us and use your voice to support this cause. We cannot falter. We cannot give in to fear and allow our voices to be silenced. We need to stand together and stay strong. Just as those animals protect us, we must protect them. They stand with us on the battlefields, they guide us through the darkness, and they assist us through a world without sound. They push past their own pain to ensure our happiness. An animal's trust, loyalty, and love is a purity that we need to treasure, not exploit. We need to do our best to work with the Chinese consulate, the Chinese government, and their people to stop this barbaric festival and end the dog and cat meat trade. And one day we need to have faith that we will watch as China, a world superpower, will stop animal abuse and other countries will follow their example. Please, please help give a voice to the voiceless and help us forever end the Yulin Festival and the dog and cat meat trade.
We've had enough. We're standing up. We're rising up. We're speaking up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up the cage door. 5, 6, 7, 8. Open up and liberate. Family, not food. Stop the slaughter. Stand united. Never be divided. Ignorance equals cruelty.
Snow White, whom we affectionately call Sweet Pea, went from hell to a heavenly life. On June 14, 2016, Ava and her husband Anthony adopted a little soul from Korea who horribly, by virtue of being female, started life from a tender age as a puppy mill dog who was impregnated untold times. And she could no longer produce live and fulsome litters as she'd had irreducible inguinal hernia affecting her uterus in particular, factors that directly predispose a dog to develop this type of hernia include trauma and pregnancy. She accordingly outwore her abdominal use, so off she went to a local dog meat farm, where, on top of indescribable pain and suffering, she and countless others were beaten by the elderly farm owner while there. Through the heroic efforts of EK Park and Free Korean Dogs, Sweet Pea was rescued from the meat farm. After leaving Korea, Sweet Pea, like many other beautiful souls that made it out of the meat farms, had known nothing but misery and pain. She finally arrived at the airport in Toronto, despondent and confused. Sweet Pea, like many other rescues, suffered massive health issues and excruciatingly lifelong pain. An excerpt from Radiology Vet Consulting, September 1st, 2016, of Sweet Pea's condition due to her former life. Refer for a surgeon to explore CT. This could be challenging surgery because there could be adhesions, and it's possible to have duplication of the genital tract, in part or complete, and combinations of female and male anatomy with a strictly female exterior, female hermaphrodite. Variohysterectomy is strongly encouraged here. If this is uterus and the patient gets pregnant, then the bitch in offering will certainly die. Dr. Chris Hagen of the University of Guelph OVC Health Sciences Center was able to successfully perform a left inguinal hernia repair with variohysterectomy on October 10, 2016. Sweet Pea then arrived home to live a new life filled with health and happiness that she deserves. Thankfully, there are organizations like Free Korean Dogs, Soy Dogs, HSI, and others that are able to rescue and free these beautiful animals. This is Mindy. She was rescued by Soy Dog and adopted by Karina and her family. She was living on the streets of Thailand for almost 6 years before a car hit her, and she ended up in a shelter. Karina got her 7 months later. When Mindy was on the streets, Thailand had no law against the dog and cat meat trade. Karina always wondered whether any of the numerous scars on Mindy's body were a result of escaping such a fate. Thailand may have ended this horrific trade, but they're still having major problems with dogs being kidnapped from the streets. There are approximately 640,000 stray dogs in Bangkok alone, and they're being taken by the truckloads to borders where the trade is still thriving. The dog and cat meat trade is also thriving in places other than Asia, such as Nigeria, where a new dog and cat meat market is in the works. Karina and her family began their journey with Mindy by responding to a request from Soy Dog, a street rescue based in Thailand. They asked for volunteers to foster dogs being brought to Toronto for adoption. Karina and her family wanted to foster a dog that would be more difficult to adopt out, such as an older dog or one with a disability. 3 dogs were suggested to them, and it was very difficult to decide on which one to foster. Eventually, after much consideration, they decided on Mindy, although they still wonder what happened to the 2 other dogs they were not able to choose. It was exciting and it was nerve-wracking when they first picked her up from the airport. Would she like them? Would she get along with their other pets, Kai and their 2 cats? Would they get along with her? Karina never forgets introducing Kai and Mindy outside their home, neutral territory, at 1 a.m. Before this, they let Mindy explore the house alone while Kai was at her mom's. They'd done their homework and they were well prepared to ease the introductions as best as they could. They even had a special plug-in pheromone dispenser to relax everyone, particularly the newest member of their family. With bated breath, they waited for the moment, and yes, they got along. Mindy had been rescued by Soy Dog after being hit by a car when she was 5 years old. Despite being a tripod, she is one of the fastest dogs they've ever seen. Karina and her family are considered foster failures because not even a week passed when they knew Mindy had to stay with them forever. Mindy is so sweet and gentle, a real lapdog, and she loves her walks. She also loves chasing and wrestling with Kai, and she may be half his size, but she can definitely hold her own. Amazingly, but not surprisingly, Mindy has adjusted quickly and very well to living in Toronto. It's true what they say about rescue dogs. They're very resilient. Mindy is such a joy. She's like a puppy, always curious about everything around her. She loves squeaky toys and chewing on antlers. She also loves to nuzzle their cat. Best of all, she's affectionate with everyone. Mindy is a great ambassador, not just for Soy Dog, but also for disabled, street, and shelter dogs everywhere. And a day doesn't go by when people don't stop and ask Karina about Mindy and Mindy's story. When people meet her and they see how gentle, loving, and friendly she is, they see that shelter dogs can be amazing companions. Mindy really is an inspiration.
We've had enough. We're standing up. We're rising up. We're speaking up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up the cage door. 5, 6, 7, 8. Open up and liberate. Family, not food. Stop the slaughter. Stand united. Never be divided. Ignorance equals cruelty.
Hi, my name is Jana, and I'm the organizer of the Stop the Yulin Festival and End the Dog and Cat Meat Trade protest rallies held in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I've been asked several times throughout the years what needs to be done to rally for this cause and how do you organize everything. I hope this video helps and inspires you to get out there and start your own rally to stop the Yulin Festival and end the dog and cat meat trade. I started from scratch as I had never done anything like this or even attended a protest before. All I knew about them was what I'd seen on TV and movies or read about in the news. The main things you're going to need is passion, patience, and commitment. And know that knowledge is power. It is critical to do your research. You will need to make sure you know the laws in your community, city, and country about what you're allowed to do and not to do when it comes to protesting, rallying, and marching. You will also need to know where you're allowed to post posters or hand out flyers and information. For instance, in Canada, there are bylaws we have to follow about where we can hand out flyers and post them. In order for us to be able to hold a protest, we're also required to fill out paperwork with the police. It's called a notice of demonstration. In 2018, we were verbally attacked, and people went up to the police and asked for us to be removed from the area, and some people even asked for us to be arrested. But the police showed them our paperwork and stated we had the legal right to be there. I work extremely hard to make sure that my protests are peaceful and respectful. I will not allow ignorance, racism, or abuse of any kind. We cannot be the voice for these animals if we produce hate. When posting about your rally, remember to always include the date, time, and location. It's important to include this key information as you want as many people in attendance as possible. Contact your friends and family and everyone in your social media circle. Ask them to help spread the word, sign your petition, and attend your rally. Also, reach out to animal organizations, charities and groups that assist in rescuing dogs and cats from Yulin and the meat trade, but also animal rescues in your community. You can also reach out to the media, but don't be discouraged if they're not interested or willing to participate. If you know people in the industry, they may be more willing to report on your rally or even attend and help you promote it. You'll also want to start a petition. Care2 and change.org are just two sites that you can create a free petition on. You also need to create promotional material, such as online ads, posters, flyers, handouts, signs, buttons, t-shirts, etc. And it's important to have social media accounts and post as much as you can. This aspect of organizing is not only time-consuming, but will cost you money. Each year, I have funded everything completely by myself. Through the years, all these costs add up, especially over time. Make as many protesting signs as possible, as you can't predict how many people will bring their own. And create printouts of chants and pamphlets. 2 to 3 hours is a lot of time, and you want to make sure your rally always moves forward and keeps people engaged and educated. As organizer of the protest, it's important to introduce yourself to the group and greet as many people individually as well. These are ideal times to ask who's willing to hand out flyers and help obtain signatures for the petition, and who feels more comfortable chanting and holding signs. People may need to use the bathroom, want to know where they can park, where they can stand, or put their belongings while protesting. So make sure you know the area. Also, take the time and learn where the land boundaries are. It's illegal to stand on consulate grounds, so if you violate these laws, it's possible that you and your protesters could be arrested, or they could decide to shut your protest down. As long as the bylaws allow, invite people to bring their dogs and take the initiative to have water and bowls for them. I also try and bring a cooler with water and apples for the protesters. It's important that no one gets dehydrated or suffers sunstroke. The safety of the protesters is your responsibility, so make sure you know the rules and you follow them, because you're in charge, so you'll be the liaison between the police and protesters. It's your responsibility to make sure things stay calm, as you may be held accountable for their actions. And remember that the actions of others reflect directly on you, your rally, and your cause. You can't be the voice for these animals if people are being hurt, disrespectful, or property is being damaged. Work with the protesters to ensure everything stays calm and you have a peaceful protest. Bring a camera with you and take your own pictures. If possible, ask a friend to also take pictures and videos. It's good to have a record of the rally, and you can use the photos to post on your social media sites and forward to the press. I'm a very shy and quiet person, and I suffer from severe anxiety. So organizing a protest rally, to say the least, is outside my comfort zone. But I just try my best to push through it and learn as I go. The most important thing is to do your best and remember the animals. That's why you're doing this. You're trying to help the dogs and cats, and when you think you can't do it anymore, just remember what they're going through and trust me. You can work all day and all night until everything you need to do is accomplished. Because unlike us, they don't have the luxury of tomorrow.
Why were dogs put on earth? Our cries for someone, anyone, to save us fall on deaf ears. There is nothing we can do but wait for the cries to perish into the night. For most of us, tomorrow's light will never come. The tortured will die a slow and painful death tonight. Silence and indifference has replaced love and compassion. It's been hours, possibly even days before our last meal. They believe because we cannot speak their language that we don't understand fear. They say we don't know right from wrong. But do humans have the luxury of claiming the same? They say we do not love. They say we do not feel pain. They say we deserve to be cast away. One of the dogs that were here before I arrived passed away last night. Before I was taken, I was blessed with a family of my own. But for this poor, lonesome dog, this place was all he'd ever known. His body still lays here. The stench of death is overwhelming. But there is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Every cage, barely a few feet wide, has several dogs stuffed inside. It's so hot that it feels like my skin is boiling. My beloved family, I will never let my memory of you go, and I pray that I'll soon return home. You are the reason why I do not give up my will to live. You are the reason why I fight to stay alive. The belief that I will see you again gives me the strength to hold on. As the minutes become hours and the hours into days, I ponder our existence. Why were we put on this planet? What is our purpose? Were we given life to stand beside humans or beneath them? Were we meant to be their lifelong companion or discarded like trash without a second thought? If you give us a chance, we will sleep at the foot of your bed. We will rest our head on your knee when you need a friend. We will lick the tears from your cheeks when you are sad. We will love you and be there for you when you feel alone. We will stand beside you through every storm. Please see we are worth more than our flesh and bone. Please know that we are worth more than what can be divided and sold for parts. Please open your hearts. It's easy to remain silent when the entire world tells you to be quiet. It takes courage to stand up and use your voice. Please see that we were put on earth to live, to love, to feel joy. Please free us from this cage. Please save us before it's too late.
Metal surrounds their frail little bodies, solidifying their inevitable coffin. Thoughts of wide open meadows and running wild through fields of freedom are their only connection to how things once might have been. Caged by man and circumstance, their souls rot and wilt away. But still, they do not wish for death to come their way. Instead, they pray. The change won't wait, and the dream of a better tomorrow will begin with us today. A dream for the dying.
With great sadness, I announce that on January 19th of this year, the animal rescue community lost one of its strongest allies, our dear friend Alex. Before she passed, Alex had moved into a new home and had so many plans. Unfortunately, near the end of the summer, she'd begun to feel unwell, which turned out to be ovarian cancer. She had surgery and chemo, but it was already too late. Her condition deteriorated, and she was hospitalized on Christmas Day. She'd been given 3 months at that time, but we lost her within 3 weeks. We'll never forget her dry wit, kindness, compassion, bravery, and love for animals. Alex's voice in animal protection started as a teen member of the local Sierra Club. She never let anything prevent her from participating in protests and rallies to stop animal cruelty, particularly those against the dog and cat meat trade. Since 2016, Alex has attended every one of our Stop Yulin Festival protest rallies at the Chinese consulate in Toronto. Despite being in pain and suffering from anxiety, she was never afraid to speak up and use her voice. Alex loved all animals and had a special fondness for cats in particular. We are fortunate to have a guardian in Alex. She's watching over us and taking care of all of the beloved and innocent animals we lost. Her fiery spirit and extremely kind heart will live on forever in every person that takes a stand against animal cruelty. Rest in peace, dear friend. We will never forget you. Until we meet again. Stop the dog and cat meat trade and end the Yulin Festival forever. We, the undersigned, strongly and respectfully urge the Chinese government to end the suffering of the thousands of dogs and cats that are brutally tortured and killed annually at the Yulin Festival, now known as the Yulin Solstice Festival. We also bring to your attention the millions of animals that are killed yearly for the dog and cat meat trade. We are horrified to witness the brutality to the animals that is the core part of the Yulin Festival and the meat industry. We firmly believe that it's our responsibility as a collective humanity to stand together and protect all animals from any kind of abuse whatsoever, and we respectfully stand with the Chinese families that have had their pets stolen because of the Yulin Festival. We are asking the Chinese government to organize and pass legislation that would forever ban the slaughter of dogs and cats in China and create a punishable offense for anyone who's guilty of harsh treatment, confinement, transport, slaughter, neglect, or any form of animal abuse. We, the undersigned, petition to stop the Yulin Dog and Cat Meat Festival and end the dog and cat meat trade forever. In the description below, you will find a link to our petition, and we urge everyone to get out there educate yourself, and learn more about this barbaric festival and meat trade and what you can do to help stop it. And please, never stop using your voice.